Well, as we mentioned, both President Biden and Donald Trump are both going to the southern border on Thursday, just a few days' time. The president is traveling to Brownsville, Texas, where he will meet with Border Patrol agents, law enforcement, and local leaders. The president is expected to push the House to pass the bipartisan border bill, which also includes funding for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. Donald Trump, on the other hand, who urged lawmakers to kill the bill, will visit Eagle Pass, Texas. Same day, by the way, same border, essentially. In his remarks, he is planning to hit the president over the administration's handling of the border. All right. So you've got Trump, you've got Biden down there on the same day, on the same issue. What do you expect?
You know, when you were talking to the congressman, it really encapsulated, it really summed up why we are such a basket case on immigration and border policy. We don't have a coherent border policy and haven't for a long time. We don't have a coherent immigration policy because it is not in the perceived advantage of either party to fix it. And the message that we send to the world continually is that the United States is schizophrenic on its border policies. We are inconsistent. We are a mess. And as long as the rule is not, I'm going to get a policy in place, but that it has to inflict political pain on my opponents. It's that if it's not enough just to get what you want, but you also have to punish your political opposition, then nothing's going to happen. You ask the congressman, well, what about the bill? And he said, well, it's not our fault. It's their fault. They didn't do it first.
And then in the state of Georgia, locally, again, a red state, that's been a sanctuary city for 5-6 years. He says they're going to try to make fixes and changes and the like, but to your point, it's national, it's at the state level as well.
Yeah.
Oh, no, go on.
I was just going to answer your question. I feel like them both going here, also start of the general election, which we saw this weekend with the signs, fire Biden at the South Carolina primary. So moving into that, all political, but then also to touch on Chris's point, how just obviously hypocritical, and I know we're in Washington and not, that's not news to anybody.
You're allowed.
Let it rip while you're up here, Kelly.
But just the Republicans are saying we want a border bill. Democrats say here's a border bill. Then it doesn't get done. But then Biden also saying on the other side, I can't do anymore. Now he's weighing executive action at the border potentially, but our sources saying he's not going to do that this week.
But that proves Chris's point. I offer a friendly amendment to you. How about do something? Right? Instead of talking and policy, let's do something. Right now, Biden has the power to do something, right? I don't know why it's taking him so long.
Well,
even the visuals.
No, wait a minute. No, it will be Democrats who decide whether or not Joe Biden has a free hand to deal with this both as a political and a practical problem.
Yeah, but I put it on both the Democrats, the Republicans in the House and the Senate, and Biden to do something. Biden can do the executive actions. I don't know why it's taking so long.
Will Democrats stick with it?
He's probably
got to do something, or they risk losing this election because this issue's not going away.
As Mick knows, Biden's probably setting up any executive actions or orders for the State of the Union or right before it. But I wonder. What do you know him as well as anyone? What do you expect out of Donald Trump on Thursday?
It doesn't make any difference.
Okay.
And I can't believe I'm saying that, but I thought you were going someplace else in that video we just saw, because while the congressman was talking, there was video playing on the television screen. And what I saw, because I've heard all the chatter, right? I know what the Democrats are going to say. I know what the Republicans are going to say. The video was captivating. The video showed people in uniform helping illegal immigrants through the razor wire. Okay, that's the type of thing that cuts through whatever the congressman said, whatever the president's going to say on the State of the Union. That ordinary people look at that and go, I don't know if I like Trump. I don't know if I like Biden. I don't like that. And I'm going to change leadership because of it. That's what I saw in that.
But the other thing you saw in the video during that interview was that Biden was standing there with Border Patrol officials, right, near a wall that Donald Trump built, right, and a wall that has not stopped illegal immigration, which is what we were promised by the Trump administration.
And then you saw Trump standing in front of a wall that was partially completed, that he wants to finish in his second term.
And wasn't there new polling saying that more people want the wall as well?
Well, I mean, you gotta take it all into account, obviously, where these two are and where this is going forward. But it'll be fascinating to see those two basically a few hundred miles apart from each other on Thursday. All right. Thank you for watching. And make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.